ship on the landing pad.
Whoa there, go-getter. Welcome to Fairfield, now under the new and improved management of Auntie's Choice. I'd usually ask if you were affiliated with the previous regime, but you lack the bewildered gaze of a yay-saying protectorate subject. Even so, going to have to ask you to identify yourself. Still a war on and all. Ah, yes. All us troopers share a unique bond, don't we? A certain camaraderie. For we are all but tools of war. Eh? Something like that? Look, I appreciate your attempt at playing excessively familiar with me to get inside, but it don't really matter. End of the day, we let most anybody in. Bottom line's all we care about is our bottom line. That'll be all. Unless you got any questions before you're on your way. As I've never heard of her, can't say I can. Seems like Minister Milverstreet knows everybody, though. Probably ask him. Anything else? Before I forget, I have standing orders to send all newcomers to Minister Milverstreet. He's in the town hall. That'd be the one with the giant hologram on it. Can't miss it. Once again, welcome to Fairfield, the official new home of free trade and self-reliance on Eden.
Keep your petty skepticism. I'll pay my tab in no time. You'll see.
No. Yet you see fit to keep me in a constant state of consternation. With each unauthorized act, you jeopardize our hold of Fairfield.
Yes, but you must understand, the Protectorate citizenry is a hair's breadth from defection. Within the week, I'm certain.
Certain. Like the week prior and the week before that. Impressive foresight you wield. Should apply to join the Order of the Ascendant.
It would be difficult enough to convert the stubborn populace without your soldiers' constant, ill-advised forays.
Enough! Your yipping reminds me of my two old canids. I loved those canids. You, on the other hand, are trying my patience. We don't want to try Auntie's patience, do we?
No,
Auntie.
Auntie.
Yes, I thought not. Now, unless you care to see what life in the lower rungs looks like, you will both of you cease your foolish maneuvering immediately. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Auntie.
Good. See that it is done. I will brook no more disappointments. And while you're at it, you might want to look into your security situation, Commander. I'm not accustomed to an audience when addressing my subordinates.
Who in the void? Eavesdropping on Auntie's Choice business is like to get a body shot for spying. Though you're not wanting for moxie. I'll give you that.
Now, hold a moment, Carr. When opportunity comes visiting, perhaps it's better not to riddle it full of holes. Our new compatriot may be of assistance.
A surprisingly good point, especially from you. She only forbade us using our own personnel. Be a whole other matter were a stranger to happen to aid one of us. But which? Well, you seem an observant sort, so I expect you'll tire of Milverstreet's bluster soon enough. Come see me before agreeing to whatever absurdity he proposes. Unlike him, I have some work actually befitting your time. I'll be waiting.
Alone at last. I never thought she'd leave. Now then, allow me to introduce myself. I am D.B. Milverstreet, Minister of Marketing, Duke of Demographics, Commercial Condottiere, President of Promotional Material. Tell me, do you believe in signs? Splendid, because I'm not interested in hiring any more idiots. I'm looking for people of tact and vision and perspicacity. I do not believe in signs. I believe in opportunities. Right now, at this moment, you and I have an opportunity to save countless lives. But I'm hardly the type to beg and ask for nothing in return. Tell me, what do you desire of this island? I've some faint recollections of the fuzz beneath my hat. Perhaps I saw such a name amidst my perusal of the Protectorate domicile assignment records. The record room is in this building. You have my permission to peruse at your leisure. But surely a go-getter like yourself has more ambitious goals on our island. Share them with me, and we can brave them together. Ambitious, aren't we? Easily the best protected location on Paradise Island. Hardly a place for a stroll. But if you assist me, I promise to get you inside. Better yet, helping me shall result in our saving dozens, no, hundreds of lives. Your conscience shall be renewed. You can't blame a body for wanting to practice, can you? Fine. I'll give it to you straight then. Auntie may demand Carr and I do nothing, but for each moment I remain inactive, dozens fall in meaningless combat. I seek a persuasive method of alleviating this conflict. The Protectorate utilizes a procedure known as mental refreshment to ease the temperament of wayward subjects. The Ministry of Accuracy contains vital information about the process and where it is performed. This is the prize I seek. I previously sent a grafted soldier, Trooper Sealong, to retrieve said information, but I have not heard from her in some time. Consequently, I must presume the worst. Yes. One additional word of warning. The good Commander Carr shall not take kindly to your working with me, though that is a bridge most worth burning in my estimate. An opportunity to attain my goals and stick my finger in Babylon's eye? Today's as grand as when I led in the performance department showing of Life of a Salesman. Find your way to the Ministry of Accuracy. And if Trooper Sealong is still alive, do send her back here to debrief. She's still contracted to us after all.
My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. Seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it? I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I?
We're closed.
Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you? Thank the matriarch. It's about time someone did. I wish I could, but it was all too much for me. Do you know what happened to her that caused her such anguish it drove her to her present course of action? No. But even not knowing the details, I could see it troubled her. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. It didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but... when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
approaching the south gate.
You there. Keep your hands where I can see them. Stranger, consider yourself lucky that I've been ordered to not open fire unless fired upon. I will not suffer an outsider to trespass and trample further through our lands. Turn back from this bridge now, lest my ever-depleting prudence be spent. If you are not a loyal Protectorate subject, you will not cross this bridge. Be grateful I do not judge with such haste as my superior to the north, Brigadier Montelli. He's been fervent of late, looking for any Protectorate subjects who have displayed disloyalty in his estimation. Indeed. Though once this was the accepted order in which we handled matters, now, well, any associations with wrongdoers results in swift execution. That has, unfortunately, put many folk in his sights, myself included. And so we wait for the proverbial axe to fall. Careful. The Brigadier is my superior officer. While our methods may differ from time to time, I wouldn't dare question his judgment. His latest decrees have complicated things, and spilt more Protectorate blood on this land, and added to my ever-growing list of Leviathans to contend with, yes, but such is duty, such is chain of command. Who am I to contradict it? Even if I could voice my concerns, the Vox is not under my jurisdiction. I must simply focus on maintaining order where I am stationed. That aside, I am not permitted to take initiative. Allowing my mind to wander will only sow chaos hereabouts. Obviously. If the Sovereign wishes to intervene, it will be done. So, as you may have surmised, I am perhaps more than a little preoccupied with keeping me and my troops alive. From threats within and without. So, you are a true believer. Why, in our matriarch's name would you not have said so earlier? You are exactly right. The paradigm upholds our social order, unity and respect above all. Surely you now understand my conundrum in the face of such blatant misinterpretation of our creeds. Might I call on you to fulfill your duty and uphold the Sovereign's justice? I know of 2 traitors who yet remain on this island. Bring them to me, and I'll dispose of them before the Brigadier questions my loyalty and deems me guilty by association. In return, I shall grant you clearance to cross the bridge. Fair exchange, wouldn't you say? Trial. When their crimes are as clear as the Sovereign's blue skies? We may not ascribe to your laws, but do not assume that I think lightly of taking a life. These traitors have committed grave offenses, ones that would be punished without question. It's not at all the same as the indiscretions the Brigadier damns his people for. There's a wide gulf between justice and madness, and many interpretations of the law land on the right side. You see the difference, do you not? I commend you for your eager interest. I think 2 traitors in particular. First is Ida Rutledge, a worker at Spire Grove. I once had utmost respect for her. We were, oh, damn it all, we were friends. When the Grove went silent during the invasion, I assumed she'd fought to the death as any subject would. But reportedly, she's not only failed to die, but is also teaching the enemy soldiers how to use the equipment. Conspiring against us. Such treachery is unconscionable. The second traitor I seek is Charlton Weintrot of Westport. He is, unfortunately, my cousin, and most assuredly a disgrace to our line. He too failed to die defending his home during the invasion alongside the other residents of Westport. They'll be seen to in time. But Charlton, well, I must deal with him personally. Oh, how I anticipate wiping that smug expression off his face. Are these orders clear? Your humor leaves much to be desired. But so long as you deliver what I seek, I will resist opening fire in retribution. Now go. Remember, once I have both traitors apprehended, you may cross the bridge. But beware if you step out of line. Other subjects may not be so generous with their deal-making as I. Farewell.
Void-brained idiot, put down the bottle and stop doing stupid shit. Get away from there.
Ah, quit your worrying. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Gary! No! What am I gonna tell the commander?
ain't as tough as you thought. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. Yeah? Well, I'm Trooper Silong. Inez, former combat medic, Enhanced Soldier Division. Now just a menial troubleshooter who looks to have gotten her job swept out from under her. They're always counting me out. Every single one of them. And now, they ain't even letting me finish the jobs they send me on. Kinda making it hard to prove myself here. And this rep didn't even have anything that could help my graft. This whole thing's a wash. Sick of it. I know, I ain't blaming you. That's part of climbing the ladder. Ain't but one rung at the bottom, and everyone's keen to get a foothold. Can't exactly afford to be picky about the jobs that come my way neither. Considering my condition, options are limited. Well, the only people who believe that are in this room right now, including that dead rapt, I reckon. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. Bet they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Get the feeling you will. Anyhow, think I'll return to Fairfield to have a little chat with Milver Street. Good luck in there. Mind the raps.
can't believe some of those protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Yeah, let them simmer in themselves. Never catch a break. Finally find a way to get ahead, and this happens.
Commander, your munition supplies are low. It is best we discuss
I don't much
acquiring
appreciate you
more
undermining my
ammunition
work,
when we
Minister.
are next traveling
When have
together.
Bad Trooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! Pleased that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death the preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit!
It most assuredly is not good for her. This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say. But Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision, most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in Westport. Worry not. The culmination of my plan will bring me the tools to aid you in your endeavor to enter the Vox station. Westport is a shell of the bustling town it was prior to the invasion, though a handful of protectorate yay-sayers still cling to it. My plan requires their conversion. Verily, on to business. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry. The choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Excellent. Here's the kit. Advertisement tapes, ambidextrine, assorted stimulants, free samples of Purple Berry Crunch, everything you need to wage war on the undecided mind. With that, I shall mark the locale. Begin with the vigilant Hogarth. Motivate him to depart, and his subjects will trot in file behind him woolly cow-like. Now, I'm sure you've asked yourself, for a task so involved, shall the reward be worthwhile? Well, wonder no longer. For the completion of this deed, I'm prepared to offer you an exact replica of my one-of-a-kind, limited production, gentle person's Oxonian. Then consider yourself officially deputized in the war to further innovation and the free market. Be forewarned. I can only guess at the needs of the denizens of Westport. You must engage with them, gauge their situation. Only then can you motivate them adequately.
All done in there? Was hoping we could Hope that little dust-up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's Choice. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with Grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us. After you. Ooh.
Commander, there is a 98.7% chance that hunting Agent DeVries will require greater amounts of ammunition than you currently possess. Ammunition can be purchased at vending machines or crafted at a workbench using materials like this collection of scrap metal and powder.
You can't spell heinous ascetic without T's choice.
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
You're too young to be a crater in the dirt!
Jackson? Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? Tragically, yes. If you gaze beneath us, you'll find a slew of blood and gore in the gears of this platform's articulating arm. That's Ida. She jumped there as we ascended. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. No, wait! Please! You can't just leave us up here to die! The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly!
Oh, thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. them. They're found in bandages and burn pictures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. I'm sorry he's gone. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving. You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest, but to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell. Not gonna lie, my thoughts are plagued by the notion of perishing atop that picker. Though I can't reconcile if I'd have starved, parched, or followed poor Jackson to the ground. Ida Rutledge. She was one of the Protectorate defectors underneath me who opted for a rewarding life of self-determinism. Or at least I thought she was. Honestly, I shudder with baffled confusion even thinking of such a thing. But I guess that's the benefit of being reared in a society that values our value. Thanks again for getting us off that literal ledge. Though with our gratitude meaningfully expressed through the requisite bits, I'm not sure we have anything more to discuss. Thanks again for getting us off that literal ledge.
You're
Though
really
with
something
our
else,
gratitude
stranger.
meaningfully expressed
Thank
through
you
the
for getting us
requisite
down.
bits, I'm not sure we have anything more. Anything more to discuss?
Careful, friends. Reckon there might be a few loose raptidons wandering around.
This stretch runs between Careful of friendly fire if you head down past the farm. Last time we...
Scout, report.
Yes.
Excellent. At ease, Scout. Glad to hear that they haven't managed to repair it.
Huh.
Material for perfection.
At least it's not shoot.
No, I just feel sad for them. It's even in their name.
Well, it's infected. Meds don't arrive soon, we'll have to start cutting.
Word on the wireless is that Auntie's choice is years behind us sociologically. So they've started the war to grab any part of the paradigm that they can.
Greetings.
Keep doing your job with pride.
It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Dut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to... I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence. Automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts.
Rampant depletion of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them.
If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Food is nutritious and plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates we take a moment.
Of course, abandon every last ideal to climb the rungs of the corporate ladder, a trifling matter to be executed with an insouciant air. No, my naive friend, you haven't watched as these vulgar hucksters set to systematically raise Eden. nor witness their attempts to commodify our bounteous land and kind subjects. Suspect if you had, you'd be singing another tune right now, not humming one of their little jingles.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect ecosystem. The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural
Well, I can't imagine ever leaving, let alone leading a mass defection.
to govern it, the matriarch working with and through the sovereign
Nobody needs go anywhere, not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse.
robust ecosystem, like those meddlesome raptidons.
Well, that's what's commonly referred to as your opinion. I have the aid of key pillars of our community, several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me, and our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers.
But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Mock me if you must, but the matriarch herself made greatness out of little. I have a brighter future in mind for Westport, one you can help with, in fact, rather than dwelling on dark maybes and scenarios of worst imagining. Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. I am unaccustomed to such talk. Don't take much to it. Though I will put aside my perturbation for the good of Westport. Let us talk plainly. What would it take to secure your aid?
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
What sort of payment do you seek? Don't imagine we have much you need. Difficult place to saunter into. Station's off limits to anyone without the highest security clearance. For anyone lacking reason to be there, it's assured suicide. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in.
Of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm.
Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
Plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates we take a moment to rightly appreciate it all.
Farewell now.
Thank the sovereign.
What do you mean you're leaving?
Shift's over. I have a life outside this place, you know.
A life?
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for Zeranium gas. We sprung a leak. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
All that matters is getting these automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now what is it you want? I might recommend the local quartermaster. It's their job to track and distribute this facility's supplies after all. Oh, we'll get to that presently. Now tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? One and the same. That building took the brunt of the damage during a recent attack, and now it's spewing valuable Zeranium all over the place. I could speak at length about Zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Ought to have the prototype up and running, just a few small operational details left to untangle. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
Outer chassis sealant test number 14 is confirmed a failure. Uranium exposure rate appears to be unaffected. Test model displayed standard overload-induced paralysis, then became atypically aggressive. Forced to terminate test model in self-defense.
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Anyway, if you have hands and a will to lend them, I won't turn away help. This gas leak of ours has proven inexhaustible, patient, and insidious. Uranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. Speak with Delphinia Bryant. She needs all the support she can get, and I'll spare no resources on this particular problem. Her invention, once operational, will provide you a shield from the worst of the uranium. Her workshop is just past our clinic. Once you have the shield, see me about the leak. I'll give you all the details.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the... What about you?
Uranium poisoning.
Ah, my little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate uranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. I require a component called a catalytic amplifier. You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. You would imagine so, wouldn't you? Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic about my proposal to gild his only combat automech. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with zeranium poisoning. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
Greetings, potential customer. State your business. This unit was engineered to facilitate management of supply inventory at this installation.
Oh, this is surely exciting. Someone is finally trying out my automechanical quartermaster. Show them what you got, quartermech.
Command not understood.
Huh. I thought that would have put it into sales mode. Best look into that later. Please, give it a try yourself.
All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable. Request not understood.
It only understands the words I've added to its databanks. You wouldn't believe how many words there are for buying and selling. Guess I missed peruse. Look, for now, just use the phrase initiate commerce. It's what I used during the initial testing.
Initiating commerce. Ambient Zeranium levels are higher than average, but within acceptable ranges. State your business. Not in stock. Please try again.
Apologies. Chief Mechanist Woodrow might have one, though you'll need to twist his arm to get it.
May this unit be of further assistance?
See you soon, I hope.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of Zeranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand, the original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't. If you're really so desperate, you can track down our second dragoon. Damn thing wandered up the coast and hasn't been seen since. I'd have sent someone to retrieve it myself, but dragoons are stubborn when their instructions are unclear. First, that would undoubtedly destroy the catalytic amplifier. Second, everyone here would turn their guns on you. Believe me, I will try. Good hunting. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Welcome. Glad to have you back.
Ambient Zeranium levels are higher than average, but within acceptable ranges. State your business.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on, just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. You do that. Anything to keep him off my back for an hour.
What can I do for you this time? I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak.
A new arrival. Ah, and what's this? You, I dare say, are exhibiting clear signs of Zeranium exposure, stranger. Your symptoms are fairly pronounced, but over the course of my research, I have seen worse. If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask, for medical posterity, and so on and so forth. Wait, I'll tell you what. I'll provide our advanced Zeranium therapy for completing a few questions. That's more than fair, wouldn't you agree? So be it. I suppose the rules exist so that exceptions can be made. Do you need anything else? Don't have much to spare, but you're free to have a look. Ah, you're back. And you've been cavorting with Zeranium again, by the looks of things. Normally, I'd say to ask the quartermaster, but he died a few weeks back. Perhaps he's been replaced since? I wouldn't know, as I've had my hands full since the attack. Failing that, I imagine you could ask the technicians here. One of them might know.
Greetings, potential customer. State your business.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. I was just lamenting the lack of new faces around here since supplies stopped arriving. And then you walk in. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies? Talk to my friend the quartermech here. You'd think that a fully stocked auto-mechanical repair center would have automech parts, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be spot on. Trouble is, a bunch of supplies went missing recently, right around the time the quartermech completed a routine inventory. There wouldn't be much point. Much as I'm fond of the quartermech, it couldn't even tell you the time of day. You're not implying the quartermech is somehow responsible, are you? I'd hate for the big guy to get in trouble. All right, that's good news, I believe. You go on and find your parts while I ponder the mystery of what was just said. Delphinia's lab would be the place to search. We use it for storage, and our records indicate the supplies were present and accounted for. Are you acquainted with Delphinia? She's a scientist on loan from the Vox Relay, helping with the Zeranium leak and all. As she ought to be. Donaldson needs to get this facility back in working order. Otherwise, we're all bound for mental refreshment. On that happy thought, best of luck in your search. Do let me know if you need anything.
erstwhile assistant returns. To what do I owe the pleasure? Now that you mention it, there was one particularly insistent little mech who kept trying to put all manner of bric-a-brac in here. After several firm remonstrations, I told it the interior of this building is off limits while I am working here. Didn't see that peculiar little scamp again after that. Until a more convenient date and time.
All right, I admit it. The quartermech still needs work, but perfection requires iteration, as the marshal says. While he's under construction, come to me for any supplies you might need. Glad to hear it. Any progress? Interesting. But what connection do you perceive between this behavior and the disappearance of the supplies? I know the supplies can't have gone far. Beyond that, I leave the investigation in your hands. Don't be a stranger. Howdy there. The roof. How could I have missed that? In retrospect, the problem is glaringly obvious. The quartermech couldn't figure out where to stack boxes on the x-axis, so it defaulted to the y-axis. I'll have that tinkered on shortly. And you're welcome to keep the automech parts, of course. Thanks for solving my little mystery.
Yes?
I hope you brought me good news, outsider.
Ah, you're back. And you've been cavorting with Zeranium again, by the looks of things. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Ah, you're back. And you've been cavorting with Zeranium again, by the looks of things. Certainly, there is a nominal cost for treatment to cover essentials. All right then, hold perfectly still. There, all better. Was there anything else you needed?